and I saw the smallest dude. Because as soon as they jumped him, dude is huge. He gets right back up like he's still going to fight. And the smallest dude out of the group went and put a lock in a sock. He swung it once, twice, and the third time, bop, right on top of the dome. And that's the first time I thought I saw somebody die in prison. That's the first time. Like, bro is just slumped out, moaning, and you could just see the pool of blood from his dome, from his cranium, just pooling. And we're swear like this dude, bro, is dead, bro. You know, I started making PVC knives because we see it at Okaloosa. We got a metal detector, you know, to get onto the rec yard. Not all camps are like that. High security camps are though. And you know, all your fire, all your blades had to be pretty much made out of PVC, and PVC would do the job too, man. I've seen a dude get stabbed up with a PVC pipe. I used to sell them. You know, they were just doing fights. Like they would literally just set up fights between the wings and stuff. We'd be out there, and I say, "Hey man, bring me one." So they brought out like the tallest black dude, bro, and they felt like I wasn't finna come out selling. I was like, "Roll the cell. What do you wait? Let's go."
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testa with multiple cases before the court.
Yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, and how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration. So Forever Convict family, once again, we are on the journey to 50,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. Share this channel with somebody who hasn't. Yo, what's going on, y'all? All right, so right now I'm about to go meet up with my dog, Josh, and just briefly about our background and his story. During my last bid, my third bid, at the very end of it, before I went to work, at least the last prison that I was at, I was actually at the same prison with Josh. So he got out, I think maybe a little bit before me. And I think actually the first time that I seen him outside of prison was back in prison, but we both were, there for, a prison event, and it was our event, a block hustle event. And he was there because he's an approved chapel volunteer. He does prison ministry as well. So he was just at our event, just showing support. And whenever I seen him again, at that prison event, you know, we exchanged contact information, and we've been in contact since. And it's actually our newest artist to Block Hustle Entertainment. So yeah, man, so we have a solid relationship, man. That's my dog, my brother in Christ, most importantly. So I'm on my way right now to his place just to interview him, so he can share with y'all his prison stories. He did 10 years in prison, but I'm not gonna share obviously too much of his story. I'm gonna let him do that. So I'm on the way right now to go link with him and his family at his house. So yeah, man, y'all stay tuned, and hope you guys enjoy just hearing his experience of his 10 years of incarceration and how he's overcame his previous lifestyle of crime, and now he's killing it. So y'all stay tuned, man. Welcome to the Incarceration Podcast. Josh, what's going on, bro? First of all, man, honor to have you on, bro. Welcome to the Incarceration Podcast. So we're just going to go ahead and dive into it, man. Just go ahead and introduce yourself, and just start with your story, man. Just briefly go over your childhood, your upbringing, and what kind of led you into a lifestyle of crime that led to your incarceration.
Yeah, man, definitely, brother. Well, I grew up in church, man. Church didn't grow up me though. I was young and crazy and just, I don't know. I grew up without a father. So like, I always was trying to do my own thing because there was nobody there to show me what I was supposed to really be doing. And my mom, she understood that. She tried to like put good role models in front of me, you know, by taking me to church. And she would have me in church like every day of the week, basically. And it just, I don't know, man, it kind of didn't really work out too well. So I think the first time I ever went in, I was like, man, I was 12 years old. I shot this kid, I never forget it, with a BB gun in the chest. And you would think like, oh, BB gun is just a toy, but this kid had a pacemaker. Like I literally almost killed him. Like I really was close to having an attempted murder charge at 12 years old. So like I went to juvie for a little while for that and got out, really tried to straighten up. I was supposed to be on probation until I was 18, but I ended up getting early term and stuff like that. And so I found myself in Orlando. My mom had moved the family there. In Orlando was crazy, man. Big club scene over there. Lots of drugs over there. Lots of gangs over there. So yeah, I found myself in high school just, just vibing. One of my best friends joined the gang, and I joined with him. And I got down with him. I remember the day I got jumped in, they called me JB the Hulk because they couldn't get me on the ground. Like, they literally could not get me on the ground. I was elbowing people, and they tried for about, I think we ran for about a minute, bro, before they were like, because it was only supposed to be like 45 seconds. And, I faded with like first a couple of them, then everybody jumped in. It was like a minute before they're like, all right, it's done. And man, I had split lip here. Yeah, I was a mess, bro, but they didn't get me on the ground. That was like big, it was big props for that. So, just hanging out with them boys, breaking the cars, breaking the houses, robbing stuff, robbing people. It was, it was just a lifestyle that, they rap about it. And I remember saying sometimes in my testimony that, I was living my life like a rap song. And that's kind of what I was doing. But there was a point in my life I really tried to get right. I tried to straighten up. I was doing better in school. I stopped messing around with, the dudes in the streets. And then, but it's just kind of caught back up with me again. And I just found myself, I was trying to do better, and I tried to go to church for a little bit, like, to be real. But then I just found myself being way worse than I was, just running around with the wrong people. Got pounds of weed under my seat all the time, bag full of pills, oxys, roxys, and all kind of foolishness. And just going to the club. One of my friends was a promoter, one of my dogs was a promoter, and that's the life. I really felt like I was living life, man. I felt like I was having the best time of my life until reality hit. And for the charge I got hit with this time, that got me the 10 years that I just did was a home invasion. I was at a college party, hanging out, trying to get with this girl, got in an argument with another girl who I didn't know owned the house. Her boyfriend, like, all his friends are up front, all my homeboys are in the back, and they jumped me and threw me out of the house, and they called the cops. So the party was broken up, we left, but like, when they threw me out of the house, they didn't throw me out, jump me, beat me up, but they did cause my elbow to bleed. And so, like, in my gang, it was like, blood for blood. And I'm not gonna say names or anything, but like, one of my closest gang brothers was like, bro, you know what time it is, dog. We gotta do something about this. So we ran over there, and dude wouldn't come out and fight. He shut the door, talking about he was gonna call the cops. And so we just kicked the door in. I ran him down like a scary movie. Dude's throwing stuff at me, and he didn't know who I was. And then when he found out and figured out who I was, like, he didn't really want no part of me. But I had I had to do something about this dude. So, and I had to do it like that night. So I ran him down. I beat him unconscious, man. And when I left, I just left him bleeding. And I didn't know what happened really when I left, but I know a couple days later, I'm sitting in my I'm just sitting at the house, you know what I'm saying, chilling. My homeboy called me up. He said, hey, there's cops everywhere in your house right now. So I was like, dang, for real. I look out, and sure enough, as soon as they see me, hit the screen, they was like, Josh Brown, come out with your hands in the air. And man, I could just feel it. So I just grabbed all my stuff, all my pills, my weed, my bags, my scales, my guns, everything that I had, just put in a bag. And I started just putting in the dryer, the washer, and behind the dryer and stuff. And I tried to shoot out the back, but they already had like a whole canine unit, whole 2 units waiting for me. I'm talking like, it was like 12, 13 police waiting for me out there. And I didn't even much get far. And they released the canine. That's how I got this nice scar right here on my arm. I don't know if you can see that. And on the back and on my leg and everything, Air Force is just covered in blood, just, pants all tattered up and stuff. It was crazy. And my mom, and I never forget, I tried to run back in the house, and I opened, my mom had woken up, and she opened the blinds, and she looked down at me, and she was scared, and they pointed the guns at her too. And she just saw her, her firstborn son on the steps with like blood everywhere, bro. It was just blood everywhere. I was leaking like crazy. They had to take me to the hospital in the police car, though, not in the ambulance because of the nature of my charges. But they took me to the hospital and stitched me up. There was so much blood, I had to get AIDS test. Yeah. And man, it was crazy. when I was sitting in the back of the cop car, I just pretty much knew what time it was. You know, I had tried to give my life to the Lord. I had made promises to God. You know, I did another jail bid a little while before that, like 7 months before that, and I was already on probation and everything. And I just knew that there was no bonding out this time. There wasn't going to be no probation this time. There wasn't going to be no chances this time. And so I found myself in there facing a life sentence plus 55 years. You know, push come to shove, I get in the Christian dorm and I got all these brothers, you know, just showing me love and starting to really, you know, just not understanding Bible stories and the Christianese of it, but just building real relationships with real brothers in Christ. And but I still ended up catching time. You know, I tried my best. I fought the good fight, like a lot of brothers tell you. But you know, when you facing a life sentence plus 55 and they got a plea deal for 10 mandatory, it's like, well, you know, you're going up the road, man. So I signed that deal. And I had like a straight face. My sister was there and she was crying because my mom couldn't make it. She had to work, whatever. And I signed that deal just real serious. When I came back to the dorm, man, when I came back in the pod, like, you know, brother of mine, he just hugged me. He said, bro, it's all right, bro. Because I just bust out crying. I couldn't hold the facade down because I was really just messed up. And I didn't blame God. Like, I knew what time it was. God gave me a chance before and I messed up. I broke all my promises to him. But, you know, the word of God says even when we're not faithful, he's still faithful. And he still had a plan for my life. And I just didn't understand. So I was just like, well, Lord, here I am. Like, you know, here I am. Do your will. And it was crazy because when I first got in there, I went to I Block in Lake Butler. When you go to I Block in Lake Butler, you know you in prison because you go to I Block. It's like one of the oldest blocks in Florida, and you go and they have these bars to clang. When they shut them bars on you, you know where you at. And I just remember, man, it was crazy. I got in 7 fights my first year locked up because the Lord still had so much to do in my life. I still had so much pride, so much anger. Like I remember one of my first fights, man. It was we're in there, we're in a pod board because they don't let us out like they let the adult side out. We only allowed out when we march to the rec yard, you know, as a YO. And they were just doing fights. Like they would literally just set up fights between the wings and stuff. And we'd be out there and I said, hey man, bring me one. So they brought out like the tallest black dude, bro. And they felt like I wasn't finna come out cell. And I was like, roll the cell. What do you wait? Let's go. And we bumped, man. We bumped for a minute. We bumped enough to where I gave my respect, you know, from the other dudes, man. Like the dudes walk the canteen line trying to act like they're trying to get something. They just look at me and they just skip because they knew what time it was. And so that was kind of part of why I did it too. But just out of pure boredom, like just fight just for fun, just fight just to fight. And
hold on, let me interrupt you. My bad. So how old were you when you caught the 10 years?
I was 20 years old when I caught 10 years.
20 years old. All right. And before we move on from Lake Butler, for everyone the viewers watching who don't know, that's a reception center of when you first go to prison. Before we even get to that, just real briefly, man, like paint the picture of your first day from the county jail going to prison. What was that transfer like, that first day in
It's
prison?
a bad picture. And listen, if you've done any time, I'm talking about the county jail, state penitentiary, federal, or even drug programs, whatever. If you want to share your story on this channel, go ahead and email me at eithekingbooking. Go ahead and put your stories in the comments below. If there's anything that I talked about slightly, you want me to go more in depth on, or anything I haven't talked about at all, and it's a good idea, drop it in the comments. Let me know. And also remember, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. You can find my music on all platforms. I also have another channel, YouTube channel, my official artist channel, E.I. the King. And I also have another podcast. It's called Let Me Talk Bro, where I talk more so about my life, music, ministry, and all these things. Also, I have a Patreon with exclusive content. Everything is in the description below. So listen, man, till the next time, it's your boy, E.I. the King.